the position we're finding ourselves in today. I was on this committee the last time we passed the Higher Education Authorization Act in 2008. Again, signed into law by President Bush with a Democratic majority, working with the Republican minority all the way through the process as a conferee. I remember distinctly, again, the really healthy interaction that took place in terms of openness and transparency and collaboration, which is not what we're seeing here this morning. Again, the ink is barely dry in terms of the draft that has been released, and we are seeing basically a wrecking ball being taken to many programs and common sense systems that have been in place to try and deal with the issue of higher education affordability, including the public service loan program, which is being eliminated prospectively under this proposal. Again, just to talk about sort of the forensics of service loan forgiveness programs, it actually goes back to Dwight Eisenhower. The first time it was created was in the wake of the Sputnik crisis that this country was experiencing, and the National Defense Education Act, which President Eisenhower spearheaded, actually set up a system for student loan forgiveness for teachers going into critical professions that our country recognized that we really needed to step up our game. And again, the measure that is being eliminated in this bill was created in 2007, the College Cost Reduction Act, signed into law by George Bush, and again, with great support from key public service occupations in public safety, in medicine, education, recognizing that, again, for people, young people going into these occupations, they are sacrificing earnings, and that one way of enticing them to take on this kind of responsibility, following Dwight Eisenhower's leadership, was to expand the public service loan program, which is being wiped out in this bill, which again there's been a gusher of support that has come out. We've had over 193 organizations that have stepped forward saying, don't do this. And again, if there are issues in terms of uptake, in terms of what's out there right now, I think, again, all of us are more than willing to go back in and drill into this programs to see if there's ways to improve it. But wiping it out at a time when we have $1.3 trillion of student loan debt hanging over the U.S. economy, according to the Federal Reserve Board, that's going backwards in terms of trying to help people and help our country in terms of trying to fill critical skills and occupations, which again just go right across the board in terms of every sector of our economy. So again, you know, when we look at the incredible challenge that middle-class families and working families face right now in terms of trying to give their children the tools to succeed in life. You go to any Rotary Club, Chamber of Commerce, and the issue of higher education affordability, the ridiculous level of interest rates that are out there right now for students in terms of trying to pay for college, and we're doing nothing to try and lower those rates to allow refinancing as a solution. Again, this bill is just, it's astonishing how sort of disconnected and out of touch it is in terms of what the real challenges are that families are facing out there, so that young people and parents, kids and grandparents, grandchildren can actually get the skills to succeed and help this country move forward. Again, we've had bipartisan leadership going back decades that recognize that this is a national issue, this is a national priority, and we need to again, look at their example in terms of trying to improve, but certainly protect key strategies and systems for, again, making sure that this country is going to have the workforce it needs for the future. So again, Mr. Scott's motion to adjourn is exactly what we need to be doing here, which is to step back, take our time, you know, measure twice, cut once, as the seamstress says, because that's how we're going to make a good higher education act, not one that's just being rushed again, in a manner that is not giving outside groups or the members of this committee a fair opportunity to evaluate what's being voted on here and making good, sound policy choices. I yield back.